It's really easy to look up autism and bury yourself down a rabbit hole of research. There's plenty of information about the traits, behaviours and characteristics of autistic people, but what does autism feel like? To me, autism feels like playing a game, but one where you're not given the rules and are told, oh, you'll just pick it up once we start playing, but then you spend the entire time not quite getting it whilst everyone else steams ahead. And when you think you start getting it, you boldly and confidently make your move and roll the dice, only to be told that you're not getting it at all, despite the fact that you've been watching and listening and taking mental notes on how others are playing the game. There's no possible way that you missed anything, but somehow you did. It's always being last to get the joke or not getting it at all, but then on the opposite end of that, people will laugh at you and tell you you're funny when you're being deadly serious about something. It's being the first to get confused but not really understanding why you got confused because no one else is confused, which just confuses you further, and then by the time that your brain realises and remembers that you're supposed to be in a conversation and joins back, the topic has moved way on and you have even less of an idea of what was going on than you did in the first place. So you just glumly submit to writing it out and just smiling and nodding. Either that, or when your brain joins back, everyone's just staring at you because someone asked you a question and you have no recollection of that taking place at all. It's needing to know all of the information all of the time, but simultaneously trying to ignore all of the information because too much verbal and sensory information is just too much, and information overload is like an itch on the brain that you just can't get. I'm constantly taking in information from all sources. It's like I don't have like a bypass switch in my brain where I can just shut off all of those things so that I can focus on one thing at a time. Unless I'm mid-hyper-focus on something that I'm interested in which case there's not even a single chance that I'm aware that you're there. Autism feels like I'm constantly looking around for an adult to ask before realising that I am in fact an adult and should be fully capable of adulting. It's trying to blend in when I go out in public because I don't want people to notice me, and constantly paranoid that someone's gonna suspect me and be like, we got one, we got a fake. It's like I'm constantly trying to convince the people around me that I am the same species. And it's exhausting. Autism also feels like knowing something that no one else knows. It's seeing things that nobody else sees because in a lot of cases, especially my case, my senses can be very heightened. That means that I tend to notice small things that go unnoticed by most people. And that's fucking beautiful. I love the way my brain works. Sure, it's confusing sometimes, and there are times where I wish it would just all stop. But I love the way I think and interpret and create. My life is a huge contradiction and at times feels like a puzzle to solve, but it also feels like being able to experience things in a way that just a small percentage of people get to do. So that makes me lucky, right? Yeah, I feel lucky. Oh, it's holding it upside down.